Hello Monty. Hello everyone. Welcome to Yoga from the Lounge. Matariki. It's a new week for us. It's Tuesday the 6th of July and in Aotearoa, New Zealand, we're celebrating Matariki at the moment. So I thought it was a nice way to start this cold winter month of July with some work around new beginnings, and the possibility of being motivated for the new year. Sometimes it takes a bit of time to reflect on something before we can be ready to start again. So let's get on the mat and we'll take some time to work through some movements that may help us get settled into the ground and flow with the new beginnings that are around us. You might need a mat or a blanket to sit on later on, and maybe even a head pillow as we'll be finishing off lying down. All right, let's get started. Oh, Monty, there's your tail. Hello. Monty the yoga cat's joining us today. He's been very interested in the candles, so I'm not quite sure what's happening with him. All right, new beginnings. In the Buddhist tradition, every time you start something or you do something, you are encouraged to have a beginner's mind. So let's go through our standing position. Get solid and stable on all four corners of your feet. Lift your toes, feel the ball underneath your big toe, your little toe, your pinky toe, and each side of your heel. Maybe bend your knees a little, come into a swirl. Lean forward and backward, each side, and then come back into a position where you feel pressure on all of those four corners of your feet. Now bend your knees, draw your shins in towards you, inner thighs slightly rotated back, booty gets a bit juicy. Tuck your tailbone, side of the body long, head of the arm bones drawn in, hands gently opening to the front, chin and ears float back. Take some sighing breaths. Make any adjustments that make it feel better for you. I noticed I just drew my chin a little bit more to lengthen through the back of my neck. Release any tension in your face, in your cheeks, in your jaw, your lips and tongue. And when you're ready, float your arms up as you breathe in, and float them down as you breathe out. Breathe in, filling up the bottom of your lungs, the middle and the upper. And exhale the same way. Release the lower ear, the middle ear, and the ear in the top of your lungs. Continue on. Breathe in and breathe out. Lower, middle and upper lung, release the ear. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. This time at the top, place your hands together and come down through that imaginary center line. Sweep your hands up, breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Last time, holding your hands in front of your chest. Breathe in. twist around to the right, breathe out, then breathe in, breathe out. Go around, noticing where the end of your breath is, and this micro pause before you breathe in and breathe out. Micro pause and release your hands down. Breathe in, this time forward folding, breathe in, float forward, long front body, bend your knees generously. Halfway lift, breathe in. Breathe out, fold. Bring your hands to your hips, bend your knees generously. Stand all the way up. Breathe out. Breathe in. Float forward, long front body. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, fold. Hands to your hips, bend your knees. Stand all the way up. Breathe out. Breathe in. Float forward, hinging at the hips. Hands to shins. Halfway lift, lengthen through the neck. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, stand all the way up. And breathe out. Take your legs wide, maybe 3 to 3.5 feet, about a metre. Take a hinge at the hips, look forward, open up your chest. Look towards the top of the wall or slightly towards the ceiling. And hinging from the hips, slide your hands down. Either leaving your hands on your shins or placing under your head on the floor. Letting the head dangle. Take some deep, full breaths. Notice how the breath moves differently in your body. Maybe expanding into the side body. Maybe into the back body. Once more, bend your knees generously. Place your hands on your hips. Press strongly down through the four corners of your feet to press yourself up to standing. Stretch your arms out. 5-pointed star. Hope some of you have managed to see Matariki in the sky in the mornings. Release your hands back to your hips. Now walk your feet together if you feel like you need a break and bring them back out as you feel able. Otherwise, place your hands on your hips. Roll your shoulders back, opening up the top part of your chest, looking towards the top of the wall, maybe even running your eyes along the ceiling. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, hinging at the hips, float forward, folding down. Hands underneath your head. This time releasing generously through the neck, maybe nodding your head, yes. Shaking your head, no. Allowing your head to come back to stillness. If you feel solid and stable, stay here. Or if you're able to, lift up your hands and hold on to your elbows. Let your arms dangle, maybe making small circles with your elbows. And around the other way. Come back to stillness, place your hands on the floor. Once more, bending your knees generously, hands to hips, elbows back, Standing all the way up, pressing strongly through your feet. Hands down by your side. Coming back up to five-pointed star. Crown of the head releasing towards the ceiling. Fingers spread wide. Feet active. All four corners of the feet active on the floor. And either walk your feet together or lightly jump your feet together. Great work. All right, give your legs a bit of a walk around and come back out to a wide-legged stance, this time turning your toes out, about a 45-degree angle or something that feels comfortable. We're going to take a squat down. All right, so just test that out. Four corners of your feet engaged with the floor, maybe toes up. Give yourself a little bit of more energy into your feet. Take some movements, whatever feels good for you. Coming back up. And as you feel comfortable to do so, working the knees, making sure they go over the top of the feet. If not, change the position, change your position. Coming into goddess. If this feels strong enough for you, stay here. If you're able to and wish to, bring your hands up into cactus or goddess arms. Checking in with your back, your neck. Check your chin, float it backwards. Claw the air with your hands. Release the crown of your head towards the ceiling. Take some full deep breaths. Opening up through the chest. On your next in breath, draw yourself up. And hands float down on the out breath. Once more, take yourself through a few movements to get yourself set again. Come on down to goddess. Work where it feels comfortable to you. Check in with your knees, make sure they haven't flopped into the middle. Moving them out so that they're tracking over the top of your toes. Draw your hands up into cactus if that feels okay. Maybe making sure that you've got equal weight on all four corners of your feet. Draw some deep breaths in and out. And on your next in breath, push all the way up. Come to five-pointed star again. Turn your feet around to face the front edge, the long edge of the mat. And lightly step or jump your feet together. Nice work. All right, it's warming up, which is nice. So we'll just get down a layer. And come to the short edge of your mat, ready to take a step back with the leg closest to me. Generously into a high lunge. We'll do this in the high lunge to start with, and we'll move into a warrior one, but let's take this into Anjalayasana. Fingers spread wide. Now pivot around on those back toes, open up to a warrior two. Keep that bend in the front knee, looking over the front hand. Place the back hand on the back thigh, turn the front hand over and reach up into the sky. Reverse warrior. Bring both hands to your hips and pivot back round on that back toe, lifting up the heel, coming to face the short edge of the mat. Bring your hands into the air, Anjalayasana, high lunge. And on your next in-breath, step all the way forward. Hands together in prayer, bring them down in front of you, breathe out. Nice work. All right, let's change and go to the other end of our mats. All right, standing in Tadasana. Take a step back with the leg closest to me. Coming into high lunge. Arms in the air, Anjalayasana. Generously bending that front knee, little micro bend in the back knee. Pivot around on that back, those back toes, so you're opening up, coming into warrior two. Place the back hand on the back thigh, reach the top hand up, palm up, working towards the ceiling. Bring both hands to your hips, pivot around on that back foot until you come back up onto the toes. And when you're solid and stable, bring your hands into the air. On your next in-breath, step all the way forward. Breathe out, hands together in prayer. Nice work. Come on back through to centre, and it's time for our balance today, and today it's tree. So remember, you can stand by the wall or with the support of a chair. Coming into a balance on your right leg to start with. Bring your left toes and ball of the foot forward on an angle. If that feels comfortable enough for you and giving you lots of work on your standing leg, stay there. If not, if you feel you've got a little bit more, come on in, bring that toe in, close to the foot, heel above the ankle. Staying here, or moving the foot up the leg, onto the shin, or into the crook of the thigh, avoiding the knee, allowing the foot to be, the knee to be active on its own without any pressure from the balancing foot. Come on out and in as you need to. I have to focus on something else. Look away into the distance to your drishti point. Bring your hands up if that feels comfortable to you. Open your hands into the air. And come on back down. Micro bend in the standing leg. And bring both feet to the ground. Now I do know that standing on something firmer than the carpet can help. I know someone's probably nipped off to their kitchen tiles or to stand for this one. Alright, releasing there, bring the other foot, bring your right foot to the toes and ball of the foot, standing on your left leg. Bring the left toes in, the right toes in towards the left foot. Taking any of these positions that feel like you're working your balance. And bring that foot up. And growing the tree. As you feel able. hands down. And as you're ready, bring that foot to the ground. Release your hands. Nice work. We're going to do a couple of modified sun salutations, and then we'll be getting down onto the ground. All right, come to the short edge of your mat. Starting with a forward fold. So when you're ready, standing in Tadasana, couple of rounds of breath. Breathe in, the arms up. Breathe out, hinging at the hips, float forward, generously bend your knees, hands to shins. Halfway lift, look forward. Breathe out, fold. Place your hands on the ground, step back with the leg closest to me, come into a low lunge. Up to the front thigh, bring your hands into the air, Anjalayasana. Breathe out, place your hands on the floor, step back to downward facing dog. Come down into table, lengthen through your hands so your hands come forward. Bring your torso forward so your shoulders are over your wrists, maybe even lengthening through the torso even more. Come on down to the floor. Turn the toes over, roll the shoulders back. Come up to cobra, looking forward. Come on down to the floor. Turn your toes over, press back up into half plank. Walk your hands back a little, tuck your toes under and come up back to downward facing dog. Look to your hands and bring the leg closest to me forward into a low lunge, lowering the back knee, moving that front foot with your hands as much as you need to. Come up to Anjalayasana. Come on down, hands to the floor, lift up the back leg, step all the way forward into a forward fold, halfway lift, fold on down, bend your knees, place your hands on your hips, stand all the way up, pressing down through your feet, breathing in, breathe out, hands down. Other side. Breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, float your body forward, hinging at the hips. Halfway lift, lengthen through your neck. Breathe out, fold. Place your hands on the floor. Step back to a low lunge. Bring your hands up to the front thigh. Bring your hands into the air when you're ready. Place your hands on the floor, step back to table and then downward facing dog. Come forward down to table, lengthen your hands out away from your torso, bring your shoulders over your wrists, ready to release your chest towards the floor, forward over your hands. Turn your feet over. Roll your shoulders back, look forward. Come on down to the floor. Tuck your toes under. Press your torso up to half plank. Back through to a long table, pressing up to downward facing dog. Hello, cat. Lift up the leg furthest away from me. Swing it all the way forward, watching out for the cat. Coming into a low lunge, hands to the front thigh, back knee down, hands into the air. Bring your hands down to the floor, lifting up the back leg, stepping all the way forward to a forward fold, halfway lift, breathe out, fold, Hands to hips, bend your knees generously. Stand all the way up. Breathe out. Monty must know a thing or two. Yes, we're going to get onto the floor. Let's get onto the floor with a forward fold. Breathe in. Hinge at the hips, float forward. Hands to shins, body long. Halfway lift, neck long. Bend your knees, come on down to the floor. Now you may like to get yourself your blanket to sit on. Maybe a trifold of two folds with 3 layers of blanket. That gives you quite a lot of extra height. And come on to be seated on the blanket. Come into an easy seat. And let's do our arm routine, which is take your right hand behind you on your in-breath. Lift up your left hand, twist around, breathe out. Breathe in, lifting up the back hand. Breathe out. Breathe into a V or twist your hands around to the eagle arms. Working your arms away and your hands up towards the ceiling. Couple of breaths here. Gently release your hands, come on back down to hands on your thighs. And watching out for the cat, swap your legs around the other way. Hello, Monty. All right, place your left hand behind you. On your in-breath, reach up with your right hand. Breathe out, place your hand on your left thigh, left knee. Pat the cat. Breathe in, back arm sweeps over, breathe out. Breathe into a V or twist your hands around for eagle arms. Work your elbows away, your hands into the air. Some full deep breaths. Release your hands, place them back on your knees. Now, extend your your legs out and making sure that you've rolled the inner thigh down, the outer thigh comes back round, same on the other side, and maybe even wriggle to the edge of your blanket so that your pelvis is slightly tilted forward. Bring your feet up, and if you find that this seated long-legged position is work enough for you, stay here. Otherwise, take a breath in. And hinging from the hips like we did when we're standing up, let your torso float forward. Let it float forward in a long line to start with before you do any rolling or curling. And as you come down, you can begin to bring a bit of a curl, but still imagine that there's something beyond your toes at about 30 or 40 centimetres and you're looking at that position. Feel the breath in your body, working into areas that are compressed or working into areas that are now freer than they have been in the usual positions of standing up or sitting. On your out breath, work your hand back up, hands back up, come back up to a seated position. Now turning around so that you're on the long edge, working the length of your mat, maybe moving the blanket out of the way. Turn around to come down to a reclining position. Now you can either just stay in constructive rest with your feet on the ground, or you can let your knees fall out as your feet get pressed together. Whatever feels comfortable for you. We've got a couple of minutes just to allow our bodies to settle on the ground before we finish. So come into constructive rest. You can use your head pillow if that feels comfortable for you today. Constructive rest, find a place where your feet are the perfect position away from your body, further out towards the edge of the mat, where you're not going to have to use your energy of your legs apart from a very tiny amount to keep your knees upright. Stay there, or if it feels okay, you can begin to let your knees fall to the side as you place your soles of your feet together. Now either allow your hands to rest alongside you or place them on your belly. And if it feels comfortable for you, just gently close your eyes, otherwise soften your gaze. And follow the movement of your body with the breath. Feel where the breath moves your body. Feel where it feels expansive. And feel how it moves as you breathe out. If you have a few more moments, please allow yourself those moments of restfulness to stay in this position. And as you move out, gently draw your legs together, maybe using your arms to help you. If you're coming out, gently roll to one side. Using the strength of both hands and arms to press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you are enjoying this time of the year. If you're in New Zealand, of course, it's deepest, darkest winter, but we are able to celebrate new beginnings with the Matariki celebrations and know that as things become dormant, we then also have the chance for new shoots, spring flowers, blossom, and roll on spring and summer. Have a great day. Namaste.